Welcome back to Bike Culture Hub. The 2025 Honda CB500T rolls onto the scene with a deep nod to Honda's twin-cylinder heritage, reborn with just enough modernity to feel fresh while keeping the soul of a classic alive. It's the kind of bike that doesn't shout for attention but commands respect in a much quieter, more confident way. When you first lay eyes on it, the styling grabs you not with flash but with a sense of timeless integrity. This is a motorcycle for the purists. For those who find joy in the smooth thump of a parallel twin, the lean silhouette of a roadster, and the feeling of being directly connected to the machine beneath them. Honda's CB series has long held a special place in motorcycling history, and the CB500T is a deliberate throwback to that legacy, drawing inspiration from the original CB500T of the 1970s while integrating refined technology that makes it perfectly suited for modern roads and riders. With this 2025 model, Honda isn't trying to dominate spec sheets or win drag races. Instead, they've crafted a machine that gets under your skin in a different way, through character, usability, and old-school cool that's hard to fake. Let's talk about the engine first. At its heart, the 2025 CB500T is powered by a 471 cubic centimeters parallel twin, liquid-cooled, and tuned to deliver just the right balance between low-end torque and mid-range pull. The numbers are familiar, around 47 horsepower at 8,600 RPM and 43 Nm of torque at 6,500 RPM, but the way this bike delivers that power is what sets it apart. There's a buttery smoothness to the throttle response that makes city commuting effortless, but it's equally happy stretching its legs out on winding backroads. The engine note has a deeper, more mature tone than one might expect from a mid-displacement twin, thanks to revised internal balancers and a redesigned twin-exit exhaust system that gives it a rich, throaty burble on downshifts and a satisfying growl as you twist the throttle. Performance-wise, the CB500T isn't about outright speed but about engagement. Honda's engineers have tweaked the fueling and gearing to provide a linear, confidence-inspiring experience that makes the bike feel eager yet manageable. It's an approachable power band, never intimidating but always responsive. New riders will appreciate its forgiving nature, while veterans will enjoy ringing it out and dancing through the gears just to hear that classic twin-cylinder song. The 6-speed gearbox has a light, positive throw, aided by a slipper assist clutch that makes downshifting smoother and reduces fatigue during stop-and-go rides. Highway cruising is remarkably relaxed. The engine settles into a calm hum at 100 km per hour with minimal vibration, thanks to Honda's continued refinement of engine mounting and internal balancing. And in the city, the CB500T never feels cumbersome or jerky. Throttle modulation is precise, and the chassis setup lends itself to confident, intuitive control. That brings us to the chassis, an area where Honda has made some subtle yet meaningful improvements for 2025. The diamond-shaped steel frame has been reinforced in key areas to enhance rigidity while keeping weight in check. It's not a featherweight racer, tipping the scales at around 190 kg curb, but it carries its weight low and evenly, which translates to excellent balance at low speeds and planted composure at higher ones. Up front, you get a 41mm Showa SFF-BP inverted fork that offers 120mm of travel, enough to soak up real-world road imperfections while delivering precise steering feedback. In the rear, a single preload adjustable monoshock connects to a new swing arm that's lighter and more rigid than before. It's a suspension setup that's tuned more for comfort and stability than razor-sharp agility, but that suits the CB500T's mission perfectly. Whether you're navigating pothole-ridden city streets or gliding down an open 2-lane road, the ride remains composed and communicative. Braking is handled by a single 320mm front disc gripped by a 2-piston Nissan caliper and a 240mm rear disc, both paired with a dual-channel ABS system. It's not a track-spec setup, but braking power is ample and the feel through the lever is progressive and reassuring. In everyday riding, you'll find the brakes to be more than up to the task, with ABS kicking in subtly when needed without being overly intrusive. One of the things that makes the 2025 CB500T feel so special is the design. This isn't a retro-modern mashup that tries too hard, it's a clean, minimalist roadster that draws directly from the lines of classic CB twins while incorporating just enough modern cues to keep it relevant. The tank is a work of art, sculpted, slightly squared off at the edges, and finished in deep metallic colors like shadow blue, vintage pearl, and charcoal mist. A discreet Honda wing badge on the tank and a minimal side panel logo nod to the past without feeling outdated. The seat is a flat, bench-style unit that combines classic proportions with enough padding for long hauls, and it flows beautifully into the tail section. The round LED headlamp with a subtle chrome trim ring adds a touch of modern function without betraying the bike's classic vibe, and the twin analog gauges, speedo and tach, are augmented with a small digital display for trip, gear position, and fuel. It's a cockpit that feels analog in the best possible way. You're not bombarded with data, instead, you're encouraged to ride by feel. One of the most thoughtful design elements is the switchgear and bar controls, crafted with tactile materials that feel premium and intuitive to use. The handlebar is slightly raised, giving the rider a neutral, upright posture perfect for urban riding or weekend touring. The foot pegs are mid-mounted and the ergonomics strike a fine balance between comfort and control. You could spend all day in the saddle without feeling cramped or stretched. In terms of unique selling points, the CB500T's biggest strength is its identity. In a market crowded with overly aggressive naked bikes and high-strung sport machines, Honda has built a motorcycle that invites you to slow down, connect with the ride, and enjoy the journey. It's mechanically simple without being primitive, stylish without being flashy, and offers performance that's useful rather than overwhelming. It's also an incredibly accessible platform, not just for new riders, but for experienced motorcyclists looking for a reliable, analog-feeling bike that reminds them of why they fell in love with riding in the first place. Another big plus? The CB500T's fuel economy. With real-world mileage hovering around 70 miles per gallon, nearly 30 kilometers per liter. Thanks to Honda's smart fuel injection and engine tuning, this bike goes easy on your wallet long after you've bought it. The 17.1-liter tank gives you a solid 450 to 500 kilometers of range, making it a surprisingly good option for light touring. Then there's the price. Honda has always had a knack for offering great value, and the 2025 CB500T is no exception. Priced at approximately $6,999, it sits comfortably in the middleweight segment, undercutting many European retro-inspired bikes while offering a better ownership experience. Factor in Honda's reputation for bulletproof reliability, low maintenance costs, and a strong dealer network, and you've got a bike that's as easy to own as it is to love. Accessories are plentiful too. Honda is offering a range of factory-fitted add-ons, including soft panniers, a flyscreen, a center stand, and heated grips for those planning to commute or tour with it. There's also a cafe racer-style seat cowl and bar end mirrors for riders looking to lean further into the vintage aesthetic. Riding the CB500T is like stepping back into a time when bikes weren't about posturing, they were about soul. You don't feel the need to push this bike to its limits to enjoy it. In fact, the CB500T encourages you to slow down, savor the ride, and enjoy the connection between rider, machine, and the road ahead. It's a celebration of simplicity, and in a time when many motorcycles are starting to feel more like gadgets, that's a refreshing change of pace. If you're looking for a bike that blends old-school charm with modern usability, one that's approachable yet engaging, simple yet soulful, the 2025 Honda CB500T might just be the motorcycle you didn't know you were waiting for. It's not a throwback. It's a throw forward, a modern classic built for real riders, real roads, and real experiences. And in that regard, Honda has knocked it out of the park.